Frankenstein, Agent of S.H.A.D.E. number 5, written by Jeff Lemire and Dan DiDio, art by Alberto Ponticelli. Left off the last issue with the end of an arc and the formation of the Monster Squad team. This issue picks up with Frankenstein in Tibet. He is destroying a cadre of man-eating mountain dwarfs who are attacking a local village, and he just straight up shoots them or slashes their head off and lets one of them run away in order to tell the tale that Frankenstein will protect this place because whatever. And these monks up on this mountain are like, "Oh, thank you, Frankenstein. Thank you for all you've done." He's like, maybe I'll stick around here if ever I give up the fight, but for now I must continue. And Father Time's head pops up and is like, "Hey, I need you back at base. We got something for you to do." And Frankenstein's like, "I'm on vacation after this mission. You can't do that." And he's like, "Well, I am. Come on back." So he, instead of going back to their base, they went to Checkmate's headquarters, which I'm just going to get right out of the way. If you saw OMAC number 5 review, this is the exact same issue, just told from Frankenstein's point of view. I thought it would be a follow-up to that, but it's not. It's literally the exact same thing. So, yeah. So this one, Father Time is talking with Checkmate, a.k.a. Maxwell Lord, and a couple other people. And they lost track of, well, didn't lose track of, but they can't contain a being called OMAC. And they're calling in S.H.A.D.E. for some interdepartmental stuff. And they basically just talk shit about each other for a little bit of like, Checkmate, you're out of your league as usual. And then like, well, S.H.A.D.E., your tiny little headquarters is nothing compared to our power and blah, blah, blah. And Frankenstein's like, "Oh yeah, I'm done with this. Can we just get on to the mission?" So they say OMAC needs capturing, blah, blah, blah. And they send Frankenstein on his way. And Frankenstein's like, something's not right about this. You're not telling me something. And he's like, "No, I don't know what you're talking about either. Something smells about this. But anyway, watch your back down there. Bye." So he tries to learn something about OMAC, but there was literally no information on it at all in ShadeNet. So he's like, "Cool, this sucks. I like going in with some info." But they're over top the energy signature of OMAC in this giant helicarrier, and Frankenstein just jumps down, and it's like 3, 2, 1, and as he's about to land on Kevin Coe, the civilian identity of OMAC, he transforms into OMAC, and it's just a big fight scene. But during this, Frankenstein loses contact with ShadeNet, so he's not able to like call in for more info or anything like that. We cut back over to the ant farm, which is S.H.A.D.E.'s headquarters, and they see that this satellite, Brother Eye, was trying to hack into their system, so they had to shut down ShadeNet. But then Father Time's like, no, let it in. I have a plan for this. More fighting, and it's like, "Oh, OMAC, stand down, or else I will smite you with my sword." And OMAC's like, "Oh, you talk too much." And yeah, it's just more of that for like 5 pages. It's fun. It's not annoyingly too much talk, but it's just them bantering back and forth. Finally, ShadeNet comes back up, and Frankenstein talks to Father Time. He's like, "Hey, what's been going on?" And he's like, yeah, it's something on our end. Just keep him busy for a little longer, okay? Cool. So he's like, "Oh, well, I will take your stupid mohawk for my trophy room, even if I have to take your whole head with it." And he is about to slash OMAC in the head, and OMAC calls for help from Brother Eye, who like does this big zap thing. And there's a nice moment here that I do want to point out where Frankenstein and OMAC are both recovering. Frankenstein calls for Father Time, of course, and OMAC calls for Brother Eye. I like the mirror. It's a good mirror. That wasn't in OMAC. I like this one. So anyway, they're like, "All right, just hold on for a little bit longer." And they see that Brother Eye is trying to hack into their system, as predicted. And as it's approaching the core, the hub, whatever you want to call it, Ray Palmer is there with some nanopires, which I guess are used to like reverse hack into him and get a full rundown of it and send it back to ShadeNet. And supposedly it works. Supposedly he's able to do it. He's got OMAC. Cut back to the fight. Frankenstein has OMAC down on his knees. He's got his arm held up, and he's about to do like a finishing blow sort of thing. And OMAC just blinks out and takes Frankenstein's arm with him. He's like, "Cool, I need an evac and a new arm. Can you deal with that?" So we go back to the ant farm. Dr. Mazursky, the fish woman, is like, oh wow, you just can accept any graft off any other human body, And if we ran the DNA on this enough, I think we could determine who, like, you really were beforehand. I think we could discover your identity. And he's like, that's something I'm very interested in. Yes, let's please do that. And they kind of have like a little bit of a romance flirt thing going on. Then Father Time comes in. He's like, hey, Frankie, how you doing? And Frankenstein's upset because he's been used for this brother eye thing rather than just defending people, which is his whole goal. Father Time's like, no. You do whatever the mission calls for. But the intentions are not your concern. And he's like, no, I am defending humanity. You ever do this again, I'm out. And so he says goodbye to Mazursky and walks away, and that's where we leave the issue. It's a strange little crossover, Frankenstein and OMAC. It's clearly done just to boost sales for one or the other. I have to imagine OMAC more so than Frankenstein. But it's done well here. I was critical of it in OMAC because the entire time Brother Eye was just talk. Everyone was talking. This one, it gave more breathing room. It was a bit more just, okay, here's this. And it gives this other stuff that has nothing to do with the fight. Him talking to Nina, him like losing his arm, that little, just that 2-panel thing of the father-brother adds so much more to both these characters than anything else. So overall, I'm going to give this one a 7. I think it's very well done, but maybe that's just because I've literally seen the exact same story done more poorly. I might be a bit biased in that regard, but this particular version I'm very much down with. So we'll see what happens with Frankenstein next time, because I doubt it's going to have anything to do with this.